What's up, peeps? It's CameraKid92 here, and today I thought I'd do a little review on a movie I saw yesterday, and that movie is Furious 7. And just so you know, if you haven't seen the movie yet, and if you don't want to be spoiled, I'd probably click that back button, because I am probably gonna throw some spoilers in this video, so just a fair warning. Now don't say I didn't tell you so. Alright, so Furious 7 is the 7th and latest installment in the Fast and Furious franchise, and it technically takes place after the third movie, which is Tokyo Drift. Now, I'm sure if you're watching this video, you've probably seen all the Fast and Furious movies, but if you haven't seen them all, first of all, why are you watching this video? I'm just kidding. You can watch it. I don't really care. But I'll explain it just in case if you haven't seen all the movies or if you don't really remember, it's okay. I'll freshen your memory. Alright, so if you remember in the third one, Tokyo Drift was the character Han, and at the end he died in a crash, and then later on you find out at the end of the 6th Fast and Furious, he was actually killed by Shaw's brother, played by Jason Statham. Statham? I don't know. I'm terrible at pronouncing last names. I am so sorry, Mr. Jason. Please don't kill me. But anyways, he's killed by the brother, who was defeated in the 6th movie, which took place in London. So this Fast and Furious 7 takes place after the events of Tokyo Drift, where Han is killed, and now the brother is coming back for revenge on Dom and his gang. Now, I thought it was pretty interesting because in the trailers, you know, they kind of had the brother, Shaw's brother, as the main bad guy, and like that was the only guy they really showed in the trailer, and like I thought he was gonna have a bigger part. But in reality, in the movie, he was actually kind of like a very, very minor character until like the climax of the movie. I mean, the whole time during Furious 7, it's like, oh hey, here he is, and then he disappears for a while, and then, oh hey, here he is again, just popping up out of nowhere in the woods, and then he disappears again, and it's like, oh hey, here he is eating dinner in, you know, a random warehouse, you know, so I thought it was kind of interesting how, like, he was just kind of like that guy who just kind of like, oh, there he is, he's popping up again. And first of all, I'm like, is this guy, like, is he a magician? Like, is he a member of the Enterprise in Star Trek? Like, does he have a little transporter thing? Like, how the heck is he getting all these places? Like, I was really baffled. So with Shaw actually kind of being more on, like, the sidelines, just kind of, like, popping up every now and then, there was another bad guy who was kind of like a terrorist, and his name was, hold on, bear with me, I need to look him up. His name was Jakande, and he was played by Djimon Hounsou. Djimon Hounsou? As you can tell, I'm really not good at pronouncing names at all, but that's his name right there. Okay, so he is kind of like, you know, another bad guy, because, alright, here's what happens. Dom wants to find Shaw, and to find Shaw, he can use this, you know, this government thing called God's Eye, where it basically uses every camera in the world to find anybody you're looking for. But this terrorist guy, he also wants to take that thing, and he kidnapped a hacker who apparently can take control of it. So Dom is hired by Kurt Russell's character to find the hacker, and if he gets the hacker and the God's Eye back, then he can use the God's Eye to find Shaw and finally get vengeance for Shaw killing Han. So are you guys still with me here? Alright, so that was the basic kind of plot of Furious 7, and you know, I thought it was really a good mixture of the old Fast and Furious, you know, the original ones, plus it was a combination of that with, you know, how like the newer Fast and Furious movies kind of, they went from street racing to more of like a heist kind of genre. So like this was kind of a combination of like the classic Fast and Furious street racing and the heist action kind of combined, which I thought was really cool because, you know, as awesome as it was to be in Rio and London, you know, all these different countries, it was really great to see Dom and the rest of the characters back in LA, back on the streets where they originated. And another interesting little, you know, subplot was Letty, you know, still trying to struggle with remembering everything after her accident, and I believe it was the fourth movie. I'm sorry, there's so many movies, sometimes it's hard to keep track of what happened in which movie. So, yeah, and another thing that's really big about Furious 7 was, of course, you all know, Paul Walker unfortunately passed away during production of Furious 7, so they really had to, you know, figure out what to do with the story because, you know, I'm sure they had it all planned out, and it's just like, you know, this terrible thing happened, and, you know, rest in peace, Paul, because, you know, we all miss you. And so I felt like they did a really good job handling that. You know, I was kind of, everybody was kind of wondering like what was going to happen to Brian in the movie, like, you know, because I was thinking, you know, it would have been in poor taste just to kill his character off. I mean, like, that wouldn't have worked out at all, and I'm sure there would have been a big uproar about that. So, you know, you can tell with the end scene, because I know during production they used Paul Walker's brothers as kind of like stand-ins, and then they CGI'd Paul's face onto the brothers. And when I heard that they were doing that, I was curious to see, you know, how that would have played out, just because, you know, like, I didn't know how it was going to play out. But, you know, the end scene of the movie, I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but I did say I was going to put spoilers, so cover your ears. So it's like, you know, it's the end scene on the beach, and, you know, Brian is going to be retiring from, you know, the heists and everything. You know, he wants to settle down and have a normal family life, and Dom, you know, he can't say goodbye because he's too sad, so, you know, he drives off in his Charger, and then Brian comes over with his car, which was, I thought was really cool because they were both driving the same cars from the first movie. So, like, it was just, you know, that whole scene where, like, you know, they do like one final drive together, and then they drive off separate ways. That part gets me every time. And when I was watching the movie theater, it was just like, I was like, ugh, you know. Yeah, it was just the end of the movie. It was a very emotional experience, and they did a great tribute for Paul. You know, it was the song and everything. You know, Paul really, I think Paul would have really liked it. But anyways, back to the rest of the movie. It was definitely, overall, it's a super fun movie. I mean, there are some scenes where it's like really over the top. You know, it's like cars flying through skyscrapers and people, you know, jumping off cars onto another cars, and like cliffs and jumping off cliffs, and it was just, some of it was, I was like, holy crap, how could anybody survive that? But you know what? These movies are not like, you know, Oscar-winning, you know, grade A screenplays. You know, they're not for that. They're fun, they're meant to entertain and make you happy, and this movie did that perfectly. This is one of those movies where you can just sit and have a good time, snack on some popcorn, drink some soda, and it's a lot of fun, and I definitely recommend it. I give it 2 thumbs up. For any of you who haven't seen it yet, definitely go see it if you haven't. This movie has already made like $1 billion, and it's only been out like a couple weeks, which is crazy. So, and it definitely deserves it. So, you should definitely go see it if you haven't seen it already. And I think I pretty much covered everything about the movie. It was fun. It was exciting. It had fun music, you know. Music wants me to get up and dance. It had hot babes, you know. Never a bad thing. It was emotional at the end, you know, with the tribute for Paul and everything. So, you know, definitely go see it, because it's definitely a great and fun experience. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Furious 7. I know Vin Diesel said there's going to be a Furious 8, so I'm interested to see what plays out and how the story will continue. So yeah, that's my review on Furious 7. So if you've seen it, feel free to shoot me some comments and let me know what you thought of the movie. And if you haven't seen the movie, go see it, and then we can go talk about it, okay? Alright guys, well I'm going to get going and edit this so I can upload it. I hope you're all doing well, and I will see you again soon. Camera Kid 92, signing out.